Clara and I had journeyed together from the awkward days of school uniforms all the way to the brink of wedding attire. But on the very eve of what was meant to be our wedding day, she died in a sudden, tragic accident. The force of my grief was so overwhelming that I nearly fainted from the sheer weight of it. In the depths of that sorrow, something peculiar began to happen. I started seeing words, like subtitles, materializing in the air before me. The first one was chillingly clear. Can someone please inform the male lead of this tragic story that she is merely faking her death? It turned out Clara's secret lover had panicked when he learned she was actually getting married, so she orchestrated a fake death one night and fled the country to chase after him to Europe. While I was collapsing beside her empty grave, her lover was apparently weeping in his own bed for a different reason. The tragic irony was that if she had returned then, in her faked state of distress, I would have been none the wiser and would have joyfully married her. 2 weeks later, the news was all over the city that I was to be engaged to the heiress of a prominent family from the neighboring city. Clara's friend Mia, who had been a party to her deception, rushed over to confront me, her face a mask of indignation. "Clara just died," she accused, her voice trembling with manufactured rage. "How can you be moving on so quickly?" I looked at her, my own voice flat and devoid of the emotion she expected. "She's gone, isn't she? I can't be expected to mourn her for the rest of my life, can I?" When the subtitles first started appearing, I was convinced I was hallucinating, a side effect of profound grief, but they persisted, refusing to fade. They told me, with unnerving certainty, that if I went to the rooftop of her parents' house right now, I would discover that the female lead wasn't dead at all. I had barely eaten for 2 days, consumed by a sorrow for her that now felt like a bitter poison. Every step I took was a monumental effort, and the idea of climbing to the rooftop felt impossible. Dragging my feet as if they were encased in lead, I forced myself up the stairs. Just as I was a few steps from the top landing, I heard a voice that was painfully familiar, laced with a teasing tone. "Is my funeral over already?" The sound was coming from the speaker of Mia's phone. "Not yet, Clara," Mia replied. "How is Leo holding up? Did he suspect anything?" "Not a thing," Clara's voice chirped back casually. "They're all running around like headless chickens. He almost passed out from crying yesterday. He's probably still sobbing in his room right now. Just take care of him for me." Another of their friends, Chloe, chimed in. "Clara, you must be truly infatuated with that new lover of yours to go so far as to fake your own death and follow him all the way to the UK. You've really dragged us into your personal drama." The subtitles had been telling the truth. My grip on the stair railing tightened until my knuckles were white, and a tremor ran through every cell in my body. Clara's voice continued, oblivious. "Don't worry about my feelings for him. Just focus on keeping Leo completely in the dark." Mia then asked the question that made my blood run cold. "Are you still planning to marry him?" "Of course," Clara answered without hesitation. "When I return, our wedding will proceed as planned, but before that, can't a girl go a little crazy for love just once?" They all erupted in a fit of giggles, sharing a secret that was now mine as well. A profound chill settled over me. I had prayed countless times for a miracle, for Clara to somehow still be alive, but I had never, in my darkest nightmares, imagined it would be like this. I didn't storm up there to confront them. Instead, I turned around and silently descended the stairs. After emptying the contents of my stomach in the bathroom, I stared at my reflection in the mirror. Days without proper sleep had left my eyes bloodshot, and my face looking gaunt and worn out. I splashed cold water on my face, methodically wiping away the tear tracks before leaving the room. Mia met me in the hallway and handed me some tissues, her face a performance of deep concern. "Don't be so sad, Leo," she said softly. "Clara wouldn't want to see you this way." I looked at her heavy, fraudulent expression. "Do you think it's possible Clara might not actually be dead?" Mia's practiced composure faltered for a fraction of a second before she recovered. What are you talking about? You saw for yourself her clothes and shoes were pulled from the river a week ago." The official story was that Clara had driven off the road at night, and her car had plunged into a deep river. The police concluded she had been swept away by the strong currents while trying to escape the vehicle. I had spent that entire night by the riverbank, sleepless and frantic, as the rescue team searched. They found only her coat and a single shoe after days of combing the area. The grief had been so all-consuming that I nearly collapsed. Today was supposed to have been our wedding day. I had been looking at our photos together, crying so hard that my head throbbed with a relentless ache. Now I understood that it was all a meticulously crafted ploy. My profound sorrow had been nothing more than a joke to them, from the very beginning to the bitter end. The supposed heroine of a tragic love story was just pretending to die so she could chase a romantic fantasy abroad. Through more of those strange, intrusive subtitles, I was given the details of her lover's social media. He had been in my periphery several times before, completely unnoticed by me. He was a minor influencer named Ethan, who worked for Clara's media company. His latest video was a montage of London scenery, featuring tightly held hands and a lingering hug in a dusty square. I recognized the small, distinct mole on the back of the woman's hand all too well. The caption read, "In the name of the purest love, she left her family and her suitable fiancé, crossing over 10,000 kilometers to find me. The winds from our city have indeed reached London." The video had gone viral, and the comments were flooded with people awestruck by what they saw as a beautiful, epic love story. I was familiar with this kind of plotline, where the protagonist believes their love is selfless, but, in reality, only loves the idea of themselves. An engagement of convenience serves only as a dramatic catalyst to chase after what they deem true love. But Clara and I were never a setup. We met in high school. My parents had already selected Sophie, the heiress of the prominent Green family from the neighboring city, as my intended future wife, but I had flatly refused the arrangement. My own parents' marriage was a loveless, practical union. I had grown up watching them perform as a happy couple in public while bringing different partners home when they were apart. The moments they spent together were filled with arguments and bitter accusations. I was thoroughly sick of those fake and broken family dynamics, which was why I was so vehemently against arranged marriages. Then Clara transferred to our school and became my classmate during my junior year. She entered my life like a cheerful, energetic kitten when I was at my lowest point. When she confessed her feelings for me, I accepted without hesitation. We transitioned seamlessly from sharing notes in class to planning a wedding. Not too long ago, we even gave a speech together at our old high school. We were envied by many as the perfect couple, a sweet high school romance that had beautifully blossomed into the real world. I truly thought I had found my one true love, living comfortably in a bubble of public admiration, completely oblivious to the fact that she had been secretly involved with someone else. The man in the video called her darling, and Clara was right by his side, filming him doing trendy hand gestures for his followers. Her face was never visible, but it was clear she was enjoying herself immensely. Her so-called business trips had apparently all been excuses to be with this boy. All those nights I thought she was working late at the office. She was with him in their private world. Once I had suggested she should try to take it easy, that she was working too hard. She replied, "I want your parents to respect me. I want to make more money so I can give you a wedding that everyone will be envious of." In the last 5 minutes before her accident, Clara sent me a final text message. It read, "Whatever happens, Leo, Clara will always love you forever." That message had torn me apart every single time I reread it. But now, it felt like a fragile bubble that had just been popped. The story she had prepared for her return was equally elaborate. She would claim she was swept away by the river, found by a family downstream, and had been suffering from amnesia. The real twist in her fantasy was that the devoted male lead would believe her without question, marry her, and then be subjected to a lifetime of pain, caught in an endless cycle of forgiving her betrayals until he finally succumbed to a broken heart. I went downstairs to find Clara's mother sitting on the living room couch. The moment she saw me, she glared with eyes that were red and swollen from crying. She immediately launched into an accusation. "If you hadn't kept pushing my daughter to come back, she wouldn't have driven into that river. You're the reason she's dead." Clara had been on a supposed business trip. The day after her accident was the day we were scheduled to have our final fitting for our wedding attire. She had driven into the river late at night on her way back. When I first received the news of Clara's death, I had suppressed my own grief to try and comfort her mother. But she had shoved me away, sobbing hysterically. "It's all your fault. You brought this bad luck upon us and you killed my daughter." I had never gotten along with Clara's mother. Before the accident, Clara had promised me that we wouldn't have to live with her after we got married. But in the days since, I had allowed her to take out all her anger and grief on me because I was drowning in my own guilt. Now, watching her clutch Clara's black and white memorial photo, she looked less like a grieving mother and more like a clown in a tragedy. Without meaning to, a small, bitter chuckle escaped my lips. She exploded in fury. "What are you laughing at?" she shrieked, charging at me with her hand raised to slap me. Chloe rushed over to intervene and calm the situation. "Calm down, ma'am. Leo is just overwhelmed with grief. It's clearly affecting his mental state. Please don't take it to heart." Mia added, "You should apologize to your future mother-in-law, Leo." I slowly walked over to Clara's mother, who assumed I was coming to comfort her. She turned her face away with a look of pure disdain. "No matter what you say, I will never forgive you. You're not even married to her yet, so don't even think about getting a single cent of her inheritance." But I didn't stop. I leaned down close to her and whispered in her ear, "Your daughter got what she deserved. When are you planning to join her, you old hag?" She clutched her chest, her face contorting in shock and anger, and fell backward onto the couch. The relatives who were present rushed over, crowding around her as she pointed a trembling finger at me. "He's the one!" she cried. "He's the one who got my daughter killed! Mia, call the police! Have him arrested!" The woman had truly lost her mind. It was no wonder she could raise such a despicable daughter. If she disliked me so much, then I supposed it was time for me to leave. "Don't say things in the heat of the moment," I said calmly. "All right, no more fuss. My staying here is only making things more difficult for her. I've decided to move out." Mia and Chloe exchanged a surprised glance, clearly caught off guard by this turn of events. Mia excused herself to a corner to send a message to Clara. "Clara, that's just how my mom is. It wasn't easy for her to raise me alone. Tell Leo to give her a break." "But your mom keeps cursing him, and now he's insisting on moving out." "Then let him," Clara replied. "It's nothing a few sweet words from me can't fix when I get back." "Okay, then. I won't push him to stay." I couldn't overhear their conversation, but the subtitles appearing in my vision told me everything I needed to know. I went to the bedroom and began to pack my belongings. My friend Alex called the moving company for me. "Leo, are you sure you're okay?" he asked cautiously over the phone. "I'm fine," I said, shaking my head even though he couldn't see me. I just want to find a place and move out as quickly as possible. He suddenly remembered something. My sister has an apartment she hasn't used in ages. She's been living abroad. You can stay there for a while, at least until you find something more permanent. Suddenly, an old chat on my phone buzzed with a notification. It was from Sophie Green. I didn't even have her current contact information, just an old account from our middle school days. Her account seemed to have been hacked at some point, as it would send out a spam link every few months. I had always ignored them to avoid getting a virus, and had eventually set the chat to Do Not Disturb. Because of that, I had also missed a message she had sent me a week ago. It just said, "Need help?" The news of Clara's accident had been all over the city. The night the rescue team was working tirelessly to find her, a video of me breaking down and crying during a brief interview had gone viral online. People expressed their sympathy for me and mourned Clara's untimely death. Sophie's message had been sent on that very day. Since I hadn't seen it, I had never replied. Thinking it over now, I politely responded, "No thanks, but I appreciate the offer." She replied almost instantly, "Okay." I remembered the day Clara had confessed her feelings to me. She had asked me to meet her by the woods near our school. It was a windy day, and as I pushed my hair out of my face, I saw Sophie standing on a balcony of the main school building. She was at the end of the corridor, her hands resting casually on the railing, her expression calm and unreadable. I glanced at her for only a moment before looking down. When I smiled and told Clara, "Okay," she excitedly kissed my cheek. By the time I looked up again, the girl in the corridor was gone. Only the tree branches were swaying violently in the wind. Back in the present, I had almost finished packing my things. A framed photo of me and Clara was knocked over in the process. I stepped over it, my heel landing squarely on the glass, and the frame shattered into a million tiny pieces. Even if she wasn't physically dead, she was dead to me now. I walked out of her family's home as her mother's curses followed me from behind. "You better never come back to visit my daughter's grave." Chloe and Mia walked me to the door. "Stop saying such things," Chloe mumbled towards the house before turning to me. "Let us know if you need anything." "No need," I said curtly. "I want to be alone." Mia then added, with a tone of false hope, "Honestly, man, maybe you're right. Who knows, Clara could still be alive. They haven't found her body yet. Maybe we'll hear some good news." The subtitles flashed in my mind. "The girl is afraid the guy will harm himself after moving out, so she's getting her friends to plant a seed of hope." I actually own a few properties around the city, but they are all currently rented out. I couldn't just kick out my tenants because I needed a place to live. So I accepted Alex's generous offer and temporarily moved my things to an empty villa owned by the Green family. When Alex handed me the keys, I asked, "Your sister won't suddenly come back, will she?" "No, I asked her recently," he assured me. "She said she doesn't have any plans to come back anytime soon. And even if she did, she rarely stays there. She usually goes back to the main family house, so don't worry about it." I slept for 2 solid days and nights, and when I finally woke up, the swelling around my eyes had subsided. That evening, Alex invited me to a bar for a drink. After a few rounds, I saw Mia and the others walk in. I had no desire to speak with them, so I turned my head to avoid being seen. From the corner of my eye, I saw her take a photo of me and send it to Clara. The subtitles appeared again, showing me their text exchange. "Ran into Leo at the bar. Should I go see if he's okay?" Clara replied, "What I did was wrong. He's been through a lot." Mia put her phone down and started walking towards me. Midway, another message from Clara came through. "Forget it. Don't make things worse. Let him feel my absence. When I come back to life, he'll appreciate me even more, won't he?" "Yeah, I guess so," Mia texted back. Can you keep an eye on him for me? The bar is crowded, and I don't want him getting into any trouble." Chloe chimed in on their group chat. "When will I ever meet a boyfriend like Leo? So passionate, handsome, and from such a good family. I'd die for a guy like that." Mia shot her a look in person, but her text was sharp. "You could always try to steal Clara's guy now." "No way," Chloe replied. "Clara would kill me if I did." Over the years I was with Clara, some of her friends had tried to secretly flirt with me. When Clara found out, she would completely cut ties with them. But that cheap, possessive behavior doesn't equate to loyalty. Lately, I had been watching Ethan's videos a lot. It was like using a tiny, sharp knife to methodically carve Clara out of my heart. It was a painful process, but it was effective. The lingering sadness was slowly being replaced by a cold, building disgust. Now, when I looked at the old, lovey-dovey videos of us, I was mostly just filled with an immense sense of relief that I had survived her. She loved having everyone witness her happiness, did she? Well, I decided I should help fulfill that wish. I sent her lover's account details to a friend of mine who worked in media. "I've got a big scoop for you. Interested?" I had a few too many drinks at the bar, and by the time I got home it was late at night. The alcohol had fogged my brain, so I didn't notice the subtle changes in the house. Dizzy and exhausted, I went up to the second floor after quickly washing up. I didn't bother turning on the light when I opened the bedroom door. I just slipped under the covers. But the bed was warmer than I expected. I reached out a hand and touched a soft, warm body. A muffled grunt from a woman startled me, and I shot up in bed. But before I could react further, the woman pinned my hands down to the mattress. "Who's there?" A click echoed in the darkness, and the bedside lamp turned on. My eyes squinted against the sudden brightness, slowly taking in the sight of a woman's pale, porcelain-like body. It took me a couple of seconds to connect the woman before me with the younger Sophie I had known in high school. The grip on my wrists eased up instantly. Sophie pulled the thin sheet over herself as she got out of bed, and I noticed her earlobes were slightly red. "I must have taken a wrong turn," I mumbled. "This room was always locked before, but tonight it wasn't, so I just came in without thinking. Alex let me crash here. I'm not that familiar with the layout yet and walked into the wrong room." Sophie turned to look at me. Her shirt was haphazardly buttoned at the bottom, revealing the delicate line of her collarbone and the shadow of a deep cleavage. Her gaze landed on me, cool and steady. "You can stay. I'll move back to the old house." Her eyes showed no emotion, and upon learning that I was staying in her home, her first reaction was to leave. That wasn't her style. "You don't need to go back," I said. "It's late, and this is your home after all. Did I wake you? I'm sorry. I'll head back to my room." When I woke up the next morning, I thought she might have already left, but I found her sitting at the dining table. She glanced up at me as I entered. "Morning." The youthful face of the Sophie I remembered from high school merged with the beautiful, mature woman sitting before me. Facing her direct gaze, I felt a bit flustered. "Morning. You're Sophie, right?" She smiled faintly. "You recognized me last night, but not today?" "Sorry," she said. "I thought you were a burglar last night." My ears felt a bit warm. "Want some milk?" Sophie asked. "Sure," I replied, feeling my face heat up a little. She handed me a warmed bottle of milk and passed me a croissant from a plate on the table. My assistant accidentally bought an extra. "Thanks," I said. "I'll be staying here for a little while. There's a new project my company is working on nearby, but if it's a bother—" "This is your home too," she interrupted softly, "and I'll move out as soon as I find a suitable place." I told Alex about Sophie's unexpected return. He replied, "That's on me. I didn't even know my own sister was back in the country. Last month I asked her when she'd be back, and she said it wouldn't be until the new year. No worries, I just wanted to confirm, I said. Alex added, Grandpa mentioned a new project in that area, but it was my sister who volunteered to take it on. That must be why she ended up staying there. My birthday was the day after tomorrow. I had planned with Clara to be in the Maldives for our honeymoon, celebrating my birthday on a beach. Now all of those plans were scrapped. My mother called. We're hosting a birthday party for you at our hotel. Make sure you come. My parents had never liked me and Clara as a couple. When they learned she had supposedly died, their way of comforting me was to deposit a large sum of money into my account. Straightforward and simple. After hanging up, I saw that Sophie had sent me a friend request. I accepted it. Her profile picture was a sliver of a crescent moon against a deep night sky. It looked like a tear in the fabric of the darkness. Scrolling through her profile, most of her posts were related to her work, with occasional pictures from skydiving or hang-gliding excursions. Back in high school, far more guys had chased after Sophie than after Clara. She reminded me of my own flirtatious father, who was always surrounded by admirers. After Clara confessed her feelings to me and we started dating, I rarely saw Sophie on campus anymore. I heard she had transferred to the international section of the school and was applying to foreign universities. I was relieved at the time. Once Clara and I were officially a couple, the looming idea of a marriage of convenience with Sophie naturally dissolved. On the day of my birthday, the city's elite gathered for the event. I played a piece on the violin, and a wave of applause filled the room as I finished. Is that the young Mr. Booth? I heard someone whisper. He looks like a movie star. He could definitely be in show business. But I heard his fiancée just passed away recently. How does he look so composed? After stepping off the stage, I spotted Mia in the crowd. I hadn't sent her an invitation, so I wondered how she had managed to get in. She scratched her head awkwardly as she approached me. When we were sorting through Clara's things yesterday, we found that she had prepared a birthday gift for you. I thought I should bring it over. She handed me an exquisitely wrapped gift box with a small card attached. It read, "To my love, Leo." The handwriting, however, was not Clara's. Got it. Just leave it over there, I said, subtly looking away, and not offering any further response. I simply pointed her to a large table already stacked high with countless other gifts. Mia paused, looking surprised. Aren't you going to open it? There are too many gifts to open right now. Seeing me walk away, she took out her phone and reported back to Clara. Clara, it seems like Leo isn't interested in your gift. Clara replied, Are you crazy? Leo is a sentimental person. If he opens it now and gets emotional, he might start crying in front of everyone. That would be incredibly awkward. Okay, you know him best. But I heard this dinner is just a cover for Leo's birthday party. It's actually a chance for his family to find him a suitable marriage partner. You should probably come back soon. There are tons of eligible women here tonight. That's nonsense, Clara texted back confidently. He despises arranged marriages. No amount of candidates will change his mind. I'll be back at the end of the month. The person I'm with is being too clingy right now. I can't leave early. The room was bustling, and many people came over to wish me a happy birthday. My mother took my arm, her tone serious. You know you're our only beloved son. The company will surely be yours to manage one day. She linked her arm with mine and guided me through the crowd. Dear, Sophie is finally back. I know you two didn't get along well in the past, but what about it? I replied, If she's okay with it, then I am too. I agreed so smoothly that it took my mother, who had been approaching the topic cautiously, by surprise. I had to admit, my previous ideals were a bit naive. Emotions are fleeting and can change quickly, but strategic interests remain constant. The privileged life I had led for the past 20-something years was entirely dependent on the stability of our family's century-old foundation. However, our family's business had been facing significant challenges from new competitors over the last couple of years. Projects that used to be a given for us were being snatched away by others. For the sake of a strategic alliance, the Green family was our best choice. As for feelings and love, they were no longer as important as I once believed. In the distance, Sophie was wearing a perfectly tailored dress, looking every bit the elegant and sophisticated young lady. Her grandmother was standing beside her, saying something quietly, and then the two of them began to head in my direction. She smiled at me as she approached. "Happy birthday, Leo." We clinked our glasses. "Thanks." After the initial pleasantries between our families were exchanged, Sophie's grandmother said with a cheerful smile, "You two young people should go and chat more." In the hotel's rooftop garden, it was just Sophie and me. We talked about the idea of our potential marriage. She said, "If you're not keen on this, you don't have to agree to it." Subtitles flashed through my mind, seemingly from her perspective. "Oh, really? If he doesn't agree, someone might just end up losing their composure tonight." I definitely won't mention who it was that cried for 3 days and nights in high school after the boy she liked accepted someone else's confession. I felt my heart skip a beat. Then I smiled at her and offered my hand. "No, I'm on board with this. Let's work well together." She looked down at my outstretched hand and then placed hers in it. She then gently pulled me closer to her. The clicking sounds of camera shutters echoed around us. I heard her whisper in my ear, "To collaborate effectively means we need to be close." I was stunned for a moment. Then I instinctively wrapped my arm around her waist. The muscles at her side tensed for a moment as I nuzzled my face into the curve of her neck. The image was captured perfectly. Our families promptly decided on our engagement. That night, the photo was all over the headlines. The engagement ceremony followed soon after. I ran into Mia and Chloe, and both of them looked deeply unhappy. As soon as they saw me, they charged forward as if they were seeking justice on behalf of their friend. Mia frowned and asked, "Leo, Clara just passed away and you're already rushing to find someone else?" I found the whole situation darkly amusing. "She's gone. Should I mourn her forever?" "Actually, she's not." Chloe started to stammer, about to reveal the truth, but Mia quickly tugged on her arm to stop her. "But it's too soon. Don't you owe her that much? And just now the police reported that there's a chance Clara might still be alive." I paused, and my interruption was punctuated by approaching footsteps. Sophie walked over, flanked by 2 security guards. "Is there an issue here?" Chloe's aggressive demeanor vanished, replaced by an obsequious grin. "No, no problem at all. We were just here to congratulate you both. We'll be leaving now." As they walked away, I heard Mia whisper urgently, "Do you think he knows something? We need to call Clara and tell her to get back here quickly. If they actually go through with the wedding, it'll be too late." Chloe shot back, "You go ahead. I can't afford to get into trouble with the Green family. While you were talking, I saw Sophie's dad looking over at us. He looked like he could kill someone." That night, the news of our engagement spread rapidly through the city, even trending online. Far away in Europe, Clara saw the news. In the picture, I had my arm wrapped affectionately around Sophie, our eyes meeting in a way that seemed to spark with electricity. She sat up abruptly in bed, pushing Ethan off of her. "What's with the sudden move?" he asked, startled. "I'm going back home." "Didn't you say you were going to stay for a few more days? Are you that eager to jump into the marriage trap?" "If I don't go back now, my man will be tying the knot with someone else," Clara said as she frantically packed her bags, effectively concluding their relationship. Ethan huffed. "The news says he's already engaged. Maybe he wasn't as in love with you as you thought. What makes you think that just coming back will change anything?" Clara didn't bother to explain. "You don't get it. He needs me." Ethan was good for fun and excitement, but he was not marriage material. "I'm coming back with you," Ethan announced. "Don't worry, it's not to hang on to you. I recently gained 1 million followers, and there's a dating show in China that's invited me to participate. I might become a big star." He emphasized the part about the dating show, hoping it would stir some jealousy in Clara, but she wasn't listening. "Sounds good," she said distractedly. She quickly finished packing, bought a plane ticket, and headed straight for the airport. On the way, she rationalized the situation to herself. Leo probably thinks I'm really dead, so he reluctantly agreed to his family's plan. With that realization, she felt a wave of relief. While talking with Mia on the phone, she said confidently, "What's the rush? The moment he realizes I'm alive, you can bet he'll drop that engagement in a heartbeat." "Really, Clara? That's Sophie. I never liked her back in high school. When you and Leo were dating, I often caught her giving you the creepiest looks. Do you think if I crash their wedding, it will make her the laughingstock of the entire city?" But she couldn't even wait until their wedding day. As soon as her plane landed, she couldn't wait to call me, certain that just hearing her voice would be enough to make me cancel everything. "Hey, Leo?" But the voice that replied was an automated one. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." That cold, electronic voice filled her with a sense of panic she couldn't shake. News of our engagement was all over the city, but the specific details of the wedding were kept a closely guarded secret. She scoured the internet but couldn't find any information about where the ceremony was happening. With time running out, she finally had to pull some strings and managed to get the exact location on the morning of the wedding. On her way there, Clara kept rehearsing what she would say when she dramatically crashed the wedding. The thought of the chaos, the trending hashtags, and the possibility of going viral made her heart race with excitement. Maybe she could even get a chance to live stream the event and sell some products. When she was stopped by security at the door, Clara yelled shamelessly, "I'm Leo's fiancée, let me in!" The initially stern guard smirked at her. "Everyone here knows that today is Sophie and Leo's big day. Where did you escape from? Some asylum?" Clara's face turned bright red. She sat on the curb under the scorching sun, determined to wait it out until the ceremony ended. Finally, the chapel doors opened, and I walked out in a white tuxedo, looking even more stunning than she had imagined. But the woman by my side. In Clara's eyes, she was everything that was wrong with the world. That should have been her standing there with me. From a distance, she waved her arms frantically, trying to get my attention. "Leo! Leo!" Her voice was completely drowned out by the noise of the crowd. As I was getting into the car, I turned back, and my gaze swept over the crowd, passing right over her. She was sure that if I had seen her, I would have stopped at nothing to be with her. But my gaze was indifferent as it passed her by, before I got into the car. "He must not have seen me," she told herself. "Absolutely. Even if they get married, they can still get a divorce. It's no big deal. A loveless marriage is no match for the love of one's life rising from the ashes." Thinking this made her feel calmer. When she got home, Clara's mother rushed to her, her eyes filled with tears. "Did you see the news? That rascal Leo got hitched to someone else. Didn't I warn you? He always seemed like a wanderer." "He didn't know I was alive," Clara insisted. "If he knew, he would divorce her for me." With that, she shook her mom's hand off her arm. "And remove those black and white photos of me from the living room. They're too gloomy." She opened the door to her bedroom and was startled by the wreckage before her. The photo frame that had been my favorite was shattered on the floor. The picture wall we had created together was ripped apart, all of our shared memories torn in half. Furious, She called her mom upstairs. "Mom, are you insane? You drive Leo away and then you wreck all of our photos because of some grudge?" "I swear I didn't do this," her mother protested. "That boy is responsible. I wouldn't waste my time on such childish acts." "Don't lie. Look at all of his faces scribbled out. Like he would just do that to himself. Can you stop being so mean?" Fuming, she said, "You should go back to your own home. I shouldn't have brought you here. Maybe he wouldn't have rushed into marriage if you had just left him alone." On my wedding day, I did see Clara. She seemed so certain that I would abandon everything for her. In the rearview mirror of the car, I watched her trying to chase after us, calling my name, only to be pinned down by security. Sophie noticed. "What are you looking at?" "A clown?" I chuckled. She caught my gaze, her lips curling into a gentle smile. "Don't just fixate on the clown. Pay attention to me, too." That night, on our wedding day, Sophie was in high spirits, having had plenty of drinks. She was slightly tipsy as she entered our suite. She loosened a few buttons on her dress and lay down on the bed, her curves moving gracefully with each breath, setting quite a scene. The sight made my heartbeat quicken. She lay still, too drunk for anything serious, I thought. I rose to get my sleepwear for a shower, but as I passed the bed, she grabbed my wrist and pulled me down on top of her. "Where are you off to?" "To shower." "Mind if I kiss you?" I murmured. She simply nodded and drew me close. Our lips touched, and before I knew it, she had flipped the dynamic on me. What started as a gentle peck turned into an intense, passionate kiss that took all the air from my lungs. Feeling the press of her body against mine, I protested weakly. "Sophie, I need a shower first." "All right," she said, letting me go. The next day, I woke up with my back turned to her. Her arm was draped over my waist, and I could feel her calm, even breathing on my back. My mind wandered, and I felt my cheeks grow a bit hot. Sophie rescheduled a number of her commitments and took me abroad for our honeymoon, far away from the city and all its memories. Those past worries began to fade away, the good scenery healing everything. Initially, I would often wake up in a cold sweat from recurring nightmares. But later, the dreams stopped haunting me. Her kisses grew bolder, and her ways of lulling me to sleep became more creative. When we returned home, I was a hot topic again, just as I had expected. A guy moves on to someone new as his fiancée's body grows cold, the rumors said. Word is, she didn't actually die. She was taken in by a family downriver, but by the time she returned, he had already moved on. The online critics were quick to condemn my seemingly fleeting heart. I reached out to my media friend, ready to release some of the dirt I had been holding on to, but the trending list was gone in seconds. All the negative search tags led nowhere. Sophie had worked quicker than me. Public opinion soon calmed down. 2 days later, I saw Clara waiting outside my office. She had lost a significant amount of weight, her cheeks were hollow, and she looked more worn out than I had ever seen her. The instant our eyes met, tears welled up in hers. "Leo, it's me, Clara." I kept my expression completely blank. She seemed surprised by my lack of reaction, but still choked up as she spoke. "Yes, I'm not dead. I've just been... You were just washed downstream, picked up by a kind family, and then you lost your memory, right?" I finished her rehearsed sentence for her. "Isn't that what you were going to say?" She was stunned. "Since you knew, why didn't you come looking for me?" she asked, her voice growing emotional. "Do you know what people are saying about you now? They say you found someone new when I was barely gone, and they're all cursing you for it. Do you know that? But it doesn't matter. I know your family pressured you. You can divorce her, and we can get married right away, okay?" "No," I said, taking 2 steps back. "Are you addicted to pretending? Is faking your death and running overseas for a fling fun for you?" Clara's eyes went wide with disbelief, her voice trembling. "What? How do you know?" "Was it Mia or Chloe who told you?" I asked rhetorically. "Yes, I should probably thank them. At first, I didn't believe it. But then they told me about your new Flings account. I've seen your videos. You two are really something." "Leo, I'm sorry," she pleaded, regret filling her eyes. "I was wrong. I really know I was wrong." She looked like she was about to kneel right there in front of me. Just then, Sophie stepped out of her Bentley. She had been picking me up from work every day lately. I walked over to her, putting my arm around her waist. "This person is bugging me. It's so annoying." Sophie bypassed Clara completely, grabbing my hand and pulling me protectively behind her. "Who are you and what do you want with my husband?" That moment seemed to cut Clara deeply. Her face filled with a mixture of anger and despair, and her knees wobbled as if they might give out. "I'm Clara," she said, her voice weak. "His ex-fiancée." Sophie smirked. "Oh, if I remember correctly, didn't you die? What's left of you was supposedly soaking in the river for so long. Still not puffed up?" Clara clenched her fists. "What are you so pleased about? You two are only married for convenience." "Convenience worked out pretty well for me," Sophie sneered. "It allowed me to marry him. Why not? And who do you think you are? What can you do other than make him cry?" Clara raised her fist. But before it could reach either of us, the Green family's bodyguards restrained her. I looked at her one last time, feeling only a mild sense of disgust. "Please don't show up in front of me again," I said coldly. "I find it distasteful." Later that night, Sophie, who usually had a strong sense of propriety, was unusually uninhibited in bed. "Why do you call me honey in front of her, but never when we're alone?" she asked breathlessly. "Yeah, why?" I teased. "Because you never said you wanted to hear it." "I want to hear it," she whispered. "Honey." Her affection overflowed from her eyes. "I'm better than her. More obedient. Choose me, won't you?" I lost count of how many times I said yes that night. Meanwhile, a fuming Clara confronted Mia and Chloe, hurling insults at them. Fed up, Mia and Chloe retorted. "Why are you going crazy on us? Haven't we cooperated enough with your schemes? We almost got into serious trouble with the Green family because of you. Instead of any gratitude, we get scolded out of nowhere. You messed this up on your own. Don't blame us. I even stood up for you at their engagement party." Then Clara got a call from Ethan. A piercing cry came through the phone. "What do we do? My account got exposed." "I told you to delete those videos, didn't I?" she snapped. "I did. I hid them all, but someone must have screen recorded them, and now the reality show wants me to pay a huge penalty for breach of contract. I'll lose all the money I've earned over the past few months. Can you help me with some money?" "No money!" she screamed back. "If it weren't for those pointless videos, I wouldn't have lost him." Eventually, Clara's company went bankrupt. Her prior reckless spending had left her with no capital to bounce back. Her little fling's dream of stardom also crashed and burned. The entire internet knew he was a homewrecker and blasted him for it. Astute netizens pieced the puzzle together from the videos, matching Clara's profile to her role as his backer, uncovering the whole sordid story. From then on, Clara's name became synonymous with jerk. One night, after another failed job hunt, a disheartened Clara walked by the river. Suddenly, fireworks exploded across the night sky. For a fleeting moment, she felt a spark of hope at the display's beauty. But then, the fireworks spelled out the words, "Happy First Wedding Anniversary." Hearing that, Linda felt a fire of rage and despair burn inside her. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she climbed over the barrier and jumped into the dark, cold river. But she didn't die. Someone fished her out of the water. She left the city like a stray dog, returning to her hometown to live a lifeless existence, mooching off her parents. She locked herself away in her room, refusing to see anyone. After that, Clara disappeared from my life completely. I didn't know her whereabouts, and I didn't care to find out. The only person I cared about was Sophie. People later told me that she had cried for 3 nights straight back in high school, when I accepted Clara's confession. It took 2 years of marriage before I completely gave my heart to her. Sophie was patient, and she gradually and lovingly pieced back together. My shattered heart through the quiet moments of our everyday lives. For Sophie, it never mattered when I started to truly love her. As long as she could be by my side, she was content to be my everything.